Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where...
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like...
Fucker! You fucker! Hey, fucker!
Oh!
Huh? What the f...
Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice, and this is another installment of BS Reviews. Thank you all for tuning in. Today, I'll be reviewing one of the stranger films to come out of this year, at least in terms of plotline. That's the comedy/teen/horror movie known as Jennifer's Body. Jennifer's Body is brought to you by 20th Century Fox Films, directed by Karen Kusama, and written by Diablo Cody, who also wrote the film Juno. Jennifer's Body stars Megan Fox as Jennifer Check, Amanda Seyfried as Needy Lesnicki, Johnny Simmons as Chip, Adam Brody as Nikolai Wolf, and J.K. Simmons as Mr. Robluski. The plot of Jennifer's Body. Jennifer's Body follows two young 17-year-old or so high school girls who have been best friends forever, or at least as far back as they can remember. Both are polar opposites in terms of personality and appearance from each other. For example, Jennifer is the prissy, gorgeous, beautiful, token, rich bitch, high popularity goddess who every girl wants to look like, everyone wants to hang out with, and every guy wants to date. She's pretty much the pinnacle of school social popularity, and she's at the top of the social food chain. Opposed to her best friend, Needy Lesnicki, who is the complete opposite. She's more dorky, dormouse, shy, quiet, introverted. She's not that confrontational, and she doesn't really care too much about how she looks, much to the disapproval of her boyfriend, Chip, who's actually quite supportive, loving, and caring for her, even though the relationship is still kind of iffy, particularly because he feels that Jennifer's relationship with Needy is causing problems. He doesn't feel that she's a good friend to Needy. This is proven in the instance when Jennifer takes Needy to see a band called Low Shoulder, which was led by the singer Nikolai Wolf, at a dank bar. Nikolai shows an unusual interest in Jennifer, and during the band's performance, a stage accident from the band's equipment catches the bar on fire. Everyone manages to get out except for 8 unfortunate victims. Nikolai Wolf, however, and the other bandmates have other ideas, as they take Jennifer during the commotion, take her in her van, and Needy has no idea what happened to Jennifer until the next day, when Jennifer returns covered in mud, half-shredded clothing, and covered with blood. She has no idea what has happened, but unfortunately we find out that during the brief time of absence, Jennifer had her body sacrificed to a demon in order so the band could get their popularity points boosted just a little bit higher than they already actually were. The demonic possession worked in terms for the boy's popularity, but as a side effect, she gained some sort of demonic feeding power inside of her body. Jennifer has to feast constantly on living human flesh in order to maintain her beauty, her strength, and her newfound demonic power, such as healing and levitation. And she decides to do this by feasting on the population of boys in their hometown, Devil's Kettle. Unfortunately, Needy finds out about this and discovers that things are getting a little out of hand, and now she must decide whether or not to stop her best friend and try and kill her, or until the demon gets at her and her boyfriend and everyone she knows. Review of the plot of Jennifer's Body. As I said in the beginning, this is a really friggin' weird plotline. It's just freaking weird. I don't know how else to say it. I really don't think there's even any other movie like that with a plot similar to this. I mean, this is just a bizarre film. That's just the best way to put it. Not just in terms of storyline, but in everything. I think a lot of people, mostly dickhead critics, mind you, will automatically assume this is some sort of vapid teen movie that's just used to show off Megan Fox's sexy-ass hot body and just make it as another pointless gore fest. I'm happy to tell you that it's neither of those things. This movie is a whole different kind of animal that I don't think anyone can really properly classify. It's so weird because it doesn't fall into the same cliches as any of the so-called genre ratings it's given. It's comedic, but it's more dark comedic in terms of more inappropriate humor, like at times where it shouldn't be, but it is, and then it works out for some reason. It's not really horror or scary because they're not trying to scare you, but it's more creepy. It's more of an unnerving, unusually disturbing feeling. And it's sexy and it's teenless, but it's not all just about Megan Fox's half-naked body. There's a whole much bigger level of sensuality that's actually even used in the drama of the film. And that's why this movie is such a hard hard creature to try and identify because there are just so many different variables and parts of the film. It's not even your typical body count movie or gore fest. The gore is not that constant. It's more vicious and brutal, but there's not a lot of big body counts. And the people that do die, they actually focus quite a bit on them and give them enough depth that you actually feel sorry when they're gone. Whereas other horror movies, they just mindlessly chop up people and you're just looking for who gets axed next. Whereas here, it's done in a much more serious and realistic level. And in that instance, I found this movie to be extremely surprising and interesting and completely different than any other expectation I had for the film. Review the characters. Megan Fox is a difficult actress to try and understand. I've only seen her in a couple films. Well, we all have just seen her in a couple films, this and the Transformers series. And it's hard to tell because she's shown signs of greatness and crappiness. On the one hand, she's still playing a typical cliche character who's obsessed with her good looks, occasionally bitchy and just more snobbish, at least in this film. But on the other hand, she proves to be quite the freaky chick. I mean, she was actually really chilling in here. The appearances on her face, the creepiness in her eyes. I never thought Megan Fox could come off as chilling and unnerving. I only thought certain actors, experienced actors could do that. But she managed to do it. I was very impressed with that. Another sign this movie's more than meets the eye. Pardon the Transformers pun. Amanda Seyfried was probably the big starliner in terms of performance because she played a very realistic person. You could honestly see someone acting like this. She's sort of Juno, Nick and Nora's kind of teen, geekish, girlish-like character. And it's very realistic, especially with the very good dialogue. And Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried have some great banter with each other with these teen slang words, and that they all work so well together. I think she was really good, and I really think they made good use of her nerdiness in both in terms as an actress and a character. It was very convincing. Johnny Simmons as Chip was okay. He was good at times. Like at times he got really funny and very good with the emotional display. Other times he just felt like meh. He's just doing his thing. Adam Brody was actually very interesting to hear as Nikolai Wolf because initially I didn't think that was him. I didn't recognize him. Perhaps it was the way he was designed with makeup or the way he acted, but I gotta say, even though he wasn't in there as long as I had hoped his character would have been, from what you saw of him, he was a pretty convincing performance. I mean, if I didn't recognize the guy, that's pretty freaking good. And J.K. Simmons has a very amusing role as Mr. Robluski, the teacher in the school. It was pretty funny. Not very important, but still fun nonetheless. Review the cinematography and the music. Music was weird. At times, it felt very appropriate and felt very good with the mood. Other times, it just felt like, what the frick were you putting that in for? There are just odd moments where the music just doesn't match up. It doesn't make any sense at all with the music. It just felt weird at times. But as far as cinematography goes, this was gorgeous. I did not think this movie would look this damn good. There were so many beautiful, well-shot scenes with the shadows and the trees and the shots of the street roads and everything. It was all shot so beautifully. You got added more sense of chilliness to the creepiness of the film. You really got a good sense of how eerie this is, not just with Megan Fox, but with the way the movie was shot. I did not think this movie would be this well photographed. I was very impressed. It contrasted with shadows and colors very well. I absolutely applaud them for pulling out such an excellent surprise into the film. I was so happy to see that. Flaws about the film. Problem with Jennifer's Body is that while it is a horror movie, it falls in some of the horror cliches. Not the typical ones, but ones that you would hope that they would have corrected. There are times in horror movies where you just say like, what the f was that character thinking, or why is that person doing that? Thankfully, Jennifer's Body has very few of them, but the few that happen in the film are quite severe. And it makes me wonder that why they didn't do this when they know that could have fixed the situation right then and there. Particularly with just how the climax comes out. It just felt a little weird that they would choose a way to do that, or why some of these people would do this. Also, the story wraps it up kind of at a weird point. I mean, it's all conclusively covered, and the story is resolved, but it just makes me wonder why they did it that way. And, I don't know, it was just weird how they handled it. Now, final wrap-up. Jennifer's Body is an extremely unusual and creative film, both in terms of the plot line, the approach, the cinematography, everything. This is not your typical film of any of those genres, comedy, teen, or horror. There is so much going on here that I was actually so impressed with that I honestly have to say that even though the rating isn't perfect for this film, I really recommend you guys go out and see it. This movie has so much uniqueness to offer. Beautiful cinematography, you got some great acting from Amanda Seyfried and the other cast. Megan Fox was excellently creepy. There's some faulty plot holes towards the end about how it was wrapped up were kind of sloppy, and the humor felt a little inappropriate at times, but this was a very interesting movie. It's a unique experience, one that I hope you all check out and enjoy. Very sexy, very fun, gory, and interesting all around. I give Jennifer's Body, bottom line, 3 stars out of 5 stars. Well, that's all for now. Thank you all for listening. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews, and goodbye for now.